Welcome to the Revolution of Purpose podcast. I'm your host, John Street, and each week we bring you conversations with thought leaders, entrepreneurs, and individuals who have aligned their life with purpose and created extraordinary results.
So I'm going to live through it and accept it radically with grace and hope and love.
I would be proud of being this handsome.
It was an honor. I had so much fun.
Tune in every Monday for the Revolution of Purpose solo show and every Thursday for Revolution of Purpose conversations. Welcome to the Revolution of Purpose podcast. This is your conversations episode. I'm John Street, and I am really honored to have a guest with me today that really represents the themes of purpose, discipline, and becoming your healthiest self. Our guest today is Jordan Wilson. And he is a 27-year-old personal trainer based in Ireland. He works with clients around the world and is known for giving practical and accessible health content on social media, specifically Instagram. He's also really funny. He blends humor along with his real fitness and education online. So today's conversation is going to be far more than just fitness-based. It is about identity, consistency, and purpose. The transformation that happens when someone decides to become the healthiest version of themselves. So Jordan, welcome to the Revolution of Purpose podcast.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here. Calling me funny is generous, but that's a good start.
You definitely make me laugh. And usually it's on purpose. So yeah.
At least once.
At least once. So Jordan, before we get into anything else today, let me ask you, who are you today that your younger self would be proud that you've become?
I would be proud of being this handsome. Am I joking? That's a bad start with the jokes. I kind of grew up in a part of the world where it's very small-minded, and it's like you grow up, go through school, go to university, get a job, get married, live in the same town, I guess. And some of those things happened, but I guess that I'm proud that I've made it work in a way where I didn't have to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course, but it never was what I wanted to do. So I guess that's like a cool thing. Like tomorrow I go to Florida for 4 weeks and I can bring everything with me except my dog. I can bring life and work and all these things with me, so I guess being able to be a free man or boy is something that I guess my younger self would be proud of.
No, that's awesome. So when you were younger, did you ever imagine your life looking like this?
No, seriously, growing up to tell crap jokes online and somehow it makes no, I don't think so. I went to university. I finished school, and on the day of decision, I was 50-50 between going down the sports route like I did or going economics and accountancy. 50-50. And I'm glad I chose the sports route. But then going down with that, I was expecting to be a teacher. And I guess if I could pull a few years back and sit and look at what I'm doing now and telling bad jokes, making social media content, I don't think so. No, it's definitely different than what I would have expected, but it's good.
Yeah. Well, and the way that you help people find a healthier way of living, when it comes to physically, of course, you kind of are teaching, you're kind of living that you thought about.
Kind of, that's true. So in some ways a teacher, but my life's just random. Actually, I just introduced you to Lee. I've got a visitor over at the minute from Canada, one of my lovely clients. And he always laughs. He's like, so tonight he's coming to dinner with my mom and my dad and me. And he says he's going to talk about how weird it is, how their son makes these stupid videos and has people from all over the world coming over to visit and stay and who are paying him. And he just thinks it's so bizarre. He's part of it, and but he tells this story about how it's so bizarre. I guess I didn't answer anything you just asked me, but that's funny.
No, well, no, I think you kind of answered it because your reach is, like you mentioned, he's from Canada, and your reach is all around the world. What countries do you have clients in right now?
Oh my gosh, USA, Canada, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, South Africa, Germany, Spain, France. There's too many. Sorry for
That's a
forgetting
lot.
anybody. The Netherlands. There's freaking, I don't know, but a lot of places. Yeah. Weird.
That's exciting. And so, I mean, that's something too that makes it so different
That's right.
in 2026, than
That's
it
right.
would have been a personal trainer 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, you get to have people all over the world following
Yeah, I
you and
mean,
your
like
content.
rewind 2 years, or even 2-3 years ago, that's what I did in person personal training, and you've got a 10-mile radius, Now it's like freaking boom, anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exciting. So when did fitness become more than just like exercise for you? When did it become your lifestyle?
Probably during university. So I went to uni, like I said, split with what to do, but I thought, let's go. And while I was there on the third year over here, you do it's called a placement year. You go and work for a year. And I didn't know what to do. I saw an advertised post as like a PTI, a physical training instructor with the local police service. And I thought, I'm going to go for that. Like, never expecting to get it, but I got it. So I went and did it, and I kind of helped people for a year like that. And then I went back, did my final year, and went straight into like the in-person personal training. And I was kind of, during my last year of university, I was getting that all ready to go. And then I just went all in. Didn't have a second job or anything. I just went straight in. And I guess during that year, it was fun.
That's awesome. So did you realize right away that like it was going to be your purpose to help people do this? I mean, or was it just something you were planning to do until you did something different and then you kind of realized as you did it, hey, this is what I love doing?
Like, to be honest with you, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, never mind in 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 years time. So starting this, I just wing it, and I just like take it as it comes, and I still kind of do that. I've obviously got things together a bit more now, but I still, like, 3 days. I mean, I only booked this trip to Florida last Saturday, and I go tomorrow for 4 weeks. Like, I didn't know that was going to happen, so and that kind of feeds into life and work and everything. So I don't know, I didn't ever think too far ahead. I just thought, I'm going to do it, and let's see what goes. And here we
So
go.
when you were doing that, what challenges came up? Did you face anything while building your platform and
Yes.
your business?
Oh my
Like
gosh.
what was that like?
So much. Oh my gosh, so much. Like, well, the first thing that I felt was like freaking burnout. Well, I guess the first thing I felt was excitement. Whenever you start your own thing and it starts to work, that was fun. But it was the nervousness before that of like putting yourself out there. You kind of feel like a bit of an idiot. I know you probably don't know what that word means, but it's not offensive. You don't need to edit it out. But you kind of feel like an idiot whenever you're, posting yourself, a new fitness trainer and social media, and it's like, oh, and then it starts to work, and then you get excited. I guess the first, like, did you ask me barriers? Is that what you said?
Yeah. What challenges you faced?
Yeah, I guess the first one was putting yourself out there. Like, that was a big one. Whereas now, like, I don't give a damn, if you see the type of stuff I post, it's like bloody hell. But at the time, that was one. Burnout has hit me once or twice. Whenever you're in charge of your schedule and everything, it's easy to say yes to everything, and it's hard to, I guess, separate work from non-work in ways. And there's always more things you can be doing. So trying to manage life and work has been a challenge, even up till now for sure. But I guess that's probably the main two.
That resonates with me. I mean,
For sure.
Doing mindset coaching and, launching the podcast and writing the book and launching the book and all these things, before you realize it, you look down and you've realized you've been working 7 days a week for
100%.
30 days.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait a second, I can't keep
30
doing
days,
this.
more like freaking 2 years. That's
I know, right?
Yeah. for sure.
Exactly. So yeah, I get that. So what did you do? Have you put in like boundaries or safeguards to like make yourself stop or take a break, or is
Well,
this
I've
still
tried.
something you're working on?
It's still something I'm working on. I've tried. So whenever I first moved into this house last March, I said, right, the laptop stays in this room. You know, when I'm in this room, this is where I do my work. I leave this room, work's done.
That's
That
smart.
lasted, yeah, it lasted 2 or 3 days though.
It's a good
Because now
intention.
it's a good intention. Intentions were right. But now it kind of comes with me lots of the time because I think, you know, I could do this or that whenever I'm have a minute. So it's definitely, it's, yeah, I would say it's my main challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it is for a lot of entrepreneurs, but
Yeah.
at least you understand that if you don't slow down, you'll burn out. And so
Yeah.
you're doing things, even if the laptop's not always staying in the room, at least you're doing things to keep it healthy.
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure of meeting your girlfriend online, and
Yeah.
like she's very friendly. I mean, at least you're making time for your significant other and
That's
time
right.
for your dog and your family life as well as business. How do you balance that outside of trying to leave the laptop in that room?
It's hard, right? Here's the thing. I work from home. I live at home. I work out from home. My girlfriend works for me. So like everything's here, you know? So it's hard to separate. It's, you know, it's everything's mushed into one. It's hard to separate that. So I guess like, I know we've spoke about this before, but scheduled dates and, you know, setting time aside for that is important. And it's easy to look past because you can always, if it almost feels unproductive, but because there's no direct return like that's quantifiable, do you know what I mean? But obviously the return is strengthening and maintaining the relationship, but that's, yeah, I mean, it's definitely separating work and life is my main struggle. But scheduling dates, even just doing and buying nice things, we spoke about this before. I find that like, okay, I didn't like my car. I saw a car that I liked. I bought the car. And now I'm going on loads of drives and trips that I wouldn't have if I didn't do that because I enjoy the car as part of the process. Do you know what I mean? So things like that I find help me get out more and separate life and work a bit better. Weird.
I'm so
It's a
glad you
weird
like the
thing,
car.
but oh yeah, I love it.
I feel like I was going to totally get the blame if you didn't, because you were
Yeah,
like,
you were
I
going
took
to.
your advice. I bought the car.
You
And
were
I'm
like,
oh,
yeah,
man.
you were a big part of that process, that's for sure. But no, I like it because my last car didn't accelerate very heavy, but this one, if you put the foot down, everyone hits their head. It gives me a wee giggle. Yeah,
For those that don't know, he bought a Mustang. So,
I did. And if you have a Mustang, don't hate me because it's not a real Mustang. It's an electric one. I understand.
I know. But it's still a Mustang. They called it a Mustang. It doesn't look like the old school, but
This is
it's
true.
got some good acceleration.
Yeah, it does. That's for sure.
So,
No,
I
that's
mean,
good
just
fun.
that one decision has made
Yeah.
other areas of your life. And it's so awesome because you talked about how some of these things aren't quantifiable.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like spending time with your significant other isn't always quantifiable in the moment. But
Yeah.
from that bigger picture, it's like, wow, this makes life a lot better when I'm in a healthy relationship,
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally, like going for one dinner date last week to an Asian place, you know, like that made a week's difference. You know, the whole week felt better because we did that. Whereas we could have just sat in on the laptops.
Yeah. Yeah. I do that too with my husband. We try to make sure that we schedule a date night at least a couple of times a month because it is very easy to just order in, or to
Yeah.
just make something really
Eat
quick
as you work.
or yeah, exactly. And wait, what did you say?
I said it's easy to just eat as you work.
It is exactly with
Yeah.
the laptops and do it, but actually taking time, setting our phones aside and actually talking to each other is really, really important. So it seems like you're definitely discovering that
I'm
and
working on
you've
it.
put down some good boundaries.
Give
Exactly.
me 5 or 10 years and I'll have it sorted out.
You get to try every day. Every day is a whole new day to do it.
That's true.
Um, so talking about purpose,
Right.
like, and how this is your purpose, at least in this moment, helping people around the world find and live their healthiest lives physically. Do you believe that purpose is discovered, or do you believe that it's developed over time?
Maybe like both. Like I guess I didn't actively try and decide that or figure that out, but just by taking steps in that direction has led me to here. Even whenever I started doing fitness coaching, um it was anyone and everyone I was happy to work with. But as times went on, that has kind of became more of a niche, I guess. But I didn't push for that niche, but it kind of happened, and then it happened, and now I'm happy about it. You know. Um. So I guess like both.
Do you think there's a part of you that manifested it? Like, was there something deep down inside that wanted, even if it's not necessarily the specific niche, but just the fact that you have the freedom to travel, the fact that you're doing well financially? Like, do you think there was something inside of you that was creating a life of financial freedom, time freedom, even location freedom,
Yeah.
even if you didn't know
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
what it was?
For sure. Like I have always wanted that since I started this, and I was trapped in. I used to do the in-person training from home. I was trapped in a garage 12 hours a day, and if I felt stuck and trapped in a way, even though it was fun and blah blah blah, I felt like there's freaking so much life and so much world, and I'm in these four walls all day and all. And I thought there's more to life, and I'd love to go travel, and I'd love to be able to do this and this. And I joined different mentorships and ways to try and help me, but it almost felt like I was trying to force it, in ways. And whenever I stopped trying to, like, the outcome was the goal, but whenever I stopped trying to reach the outcome and just focused on the inputs, I focused on the delivery, I focused on having genuine relationships, I focused on caring about what I was doing in everything, in terms of social media, in terms of presenting myself, then everything started to click, Whenever, and now I feel like I'm not, like, I feel like what I do is genuine. Hopefully you can back me up on that. And that allows everything to flow,
Yeah. I mean, you just said that like a true mindset coach. Um, but you're
What can I say?
absolutely right.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, so for those of you who don't know, which I guess you probably don't know because I haven't told you yet, but I am a fitness client of Jordan's. I've been on a fitness journey myself. A lot of you know my story. At one point, I was over 100 pounds heavier, and I've been working at trying to live as healthy of a life as I can. And for me, that started the mindset. And as my mindset changed, my identity changed, and then everything began to flow. And so finding Jordan to help me in the physical aspect of that has been huge. Especially I've had injuries that had nothing to do with my training, literally like, falling and breaking a tailbone, like just a lot of different things. And having that accountability of someone to remind me that everything's going to be okay. You don't have to fly off the wagon. You can still control the controllables, something that Jordan loves to say.
I do say that.
But it's so true. The main thing that he reminds me of in our check-ins, no matter what the number is on a weight on the scale, or no matter how many times I made it to the gym, he reminds me about my identity. It reminds me that I am someone who is getting in better health, that I am someone that's working at changing my life. And I feel like your identity, Jordan, is one of authenticity. And I think that's why you have so many people that come to you, because the more that you're just being yourself and being real, the more it just flows.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the saying fake it till you make it. I can't stand that saying, but I do
Yeah.
love be it and you'll see it. And you become this authentic coach who helps people no matter where they are. And you're not pretentious. You don't put people down. And because of that, I think that's why your business just grows and flows.
Whenever I started this, it's because I enjoyed it. I wanted the freedom. I liked helping people. I knew I could do it properly, and I knew I could get people results. Then I joined this mentorship, and they freaking turned me into a salesperson. You know, like a freaking car salesman. And then that built up a lot of anxiety and resentment towards it, because they're like, no, this is what you have to do. And I said, I don't like doing that. They said, well, then we can't help. And I said, okay. And I was doing these anxious, stressful sales calls to try and get people in. And it took a lot of the enjoyment out of it. You know, it made it feel a lot less personal, a lot more transactional. And obviously there is a level of transaction, of course, you know, because it's a service, but it took a lot of the relation out, I felt, right away, because, you know, so I feel like now I no longer do that, and I'm very transparent up front, and will only, you know, take it to that stage if people say it sounds good and is within their range. I feel like that is one thing that a lot of business people would say is a bad move for me, but for me, it allows me to reduce a lot of my stress, which for me makes it a good decision. You know, I feel like it doesn't all need to be, you know, obviously it has to benefit you financially, but if that becomes your main goal, a lot of times you can lose sight of why you started it. For me, at least, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I run into that in mindset coaching too.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of mindset coaches that believe that if you're not charging a high ticket $20,000 or $30,000 for 6 months, that you're not doing a service to someone else. And you know, my whole thing, and from working with you, it helped me decide this too. I wanted to have an option that's accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like our purpose, whatever that is that we're sharing, should be something that we can share to everybody. And I mean, that doesn't mean I can do one-on-ones with everybody for $200 a month or anything.
Right.
But it does mean that I can have an option for a group for that, or even, you know, having the book that people can get for less than $20, like having some ways to get what we're teaching out there. And you do it so well through your daily posts on
Right.
Instagram. You know, and that's giving people an absolute, complete, cost-free way to get real, honest to goodness fitness advice, as well as some kind of good humor that goes along with it too.
That's true. Maybe I should start charging for them posts, you know. Joking.
You've heard it here. There's going to be a Patreon.
There's going to be well, the jokes that I tell are quite average, so I'll put a paid version with some good
for
jokes.
like better jokes.
Yeah. That's right.
Funny. That's a great plan. It's like the opposite of OnlyFans. It's like, instead, it's not that you're going to show more skin for more money. You're just going to tell better jokes for more money.
Yeah, only jokes. That's the new
Only
business
jokes.
plan.
That's perfect. Only
There we go.
jokes.
You heard it here first, folks.
So what mindset patterns do you think people get into that hold them back? Because even though you don't do mindset coaching, you see mindset patterns all the time through your fitness coaching, I'm sure.
Yeah, the main one is doubt. Is that a
Yeah.
Is that a fair answer? Because with fitness coaching, it's goal oriented, obviously, right? Oriented, whatever. And it's here you are now, here's the goal, and getting them there. But most people are here and have never been here, you know? And because if you've never been somewhere, you don't know, you almost don't believe it in a way. So a lot of people will have doubt of, can that actually happen to me? Or, you know, I haven't had abs or I've never had abs, so I don't, you know, things like this. Self-doubt is the big one, for sure.
I think that's true. So would you say that's the main reason that people struggle to stay consistent, or is there another reason with consistency too?
I think that's a big one, because I think it's a big one because you're doubting from the get-go. You know, it doesn't matter, like sometimes what you even say, they still won't believe it until they start to see it. And then whenever they start to see it, then, oh wow, you know, things pick up. But I would say that's the main problem with consistency though, because people don't see the vision, which leads to, I can't be bothered doing this gym session, or can't be bothered eating this or doing this because it doesn't matter, because it's not going to work anyway. And then before you know it, they give up.
That's so powerful too. I mean, as someone who's like literally struggled my whole life with weight, like just getting, I remember when I finally got to 245, that was my big first goal because I had been weighing like, I weighed 350 pounds and it fluctuated between 320 and 350 for so many years. And getting under 300 and staying there was huge. And
Yeah.
then every time I would hit a milestone, and then finally being at like 245 and feeling like, oh my God, I actually did this. And now, I'm trying to lose another 20 pounds while I'm gaining more muscle and all of that. But for someone who had never accomplished it before, it is true. I had to start thinking, what will I feel like when I hit that goal?
Yeah.
And once I could feel it in my mind, then I could actually be like, it is possible. It is possible. It is possible. But
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't always looked the way you look. I mean, you may have always been athletic, but I mean, like we all have different goals that we're trying to get to. But if someone is like me and they look at someone who is, 8% body fat or something, they probably think, well, no, I could never look like that. But it's
Right.
not about trying to look like someone else. It's about trying to live the healthiest version of yourself. Please pardon me while I interrupt your podcast with a word from your sponsor, me. If you're enjoying today's episode and you're looking for more motivation, mindset strategies, and purpose-driven content, then I would love to connect with you. You can follow me on my social media platforms. Instagram is John Street Official, so is YouTube and TikTok. Facebook and LinkedIn is John Street. I also have a business page on Facebook, John Street Mindset Coach. And if you've ever found yourself asking questions like, why am I here? Or am I living my purpose? How do I get unstuck in life? Or how do I take my life to the next level? Then I would love to invite you to schedule a free purpose and clarity call with me. This is an actual call with me, not with someone from my team. During this live complimentary coaching session, we'll talk about where you are and where you want to go, what may be standing in your way. This is my opportunity to serve you and help you gain greater clarity, direction, and momentum. To connect with me, book a call, or learn more about my Revelation of Purpose coaching program, you can visit johnstreet.org. And now, let's get back to this podcast.
Yeah. And then every time, whenever you have a script and you track the progress, and each week you just want to be a bit better than last week, the repetition of that, eventually will get you there. Obviously, it takes some tweaks and adjustments along the way, but yeah, I feel like one thing people don't have is tracking progress. They look in the mirror and they don't change because they saw themselves in the mirror yesterday and the day before that and the day before that and the day before that. So you're not, it'd be different whenever you get a haircut. It's a big change really fast, whereas with fitness, slow. But the time passes either way, so if you have a script that works, you're tracking your progress, and you know what the goals are, and you know what's going to get you there, that's the best thing.
I love what you said, time passes either way.
Yeah.
It's like that old saying, choose your hard.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard
because so
to
many,
get in shape, but it's hard not to,
Yeah, and so many people be like, a big thing people ask me at the start, how long is this going to take? I have no idea. I'm
The
like,
rest
it
of your
depends.
life.
It's good. That's a good answer. It's like, it depends because it's where you are now, it's where you want to get to, and it's how well you implement. And I say to people, it could take 3, 6, 12 months, whatever. Oh, too long. Forget it. 12 months time, they could have been there, but they're still where they were, That's a problem.
That's where it comes into the goals changing. So instead of a goal of, I want to lose 20 pounds or I want to gain, this amount of muscle or whatever, the goal should become, I want to be the identity of someone who is living a healthy life. And
right.
then all of those other things become a byproduct of it.
Yeah.
It all comes to the identity.
And I would say one thing a problem people have, going back to what we were talking about a minute ago with the consistency problem, is that they will want to lose 100 pounds or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that's a freaking mountain if you look at it from the bottom, But this might sound silly, but all you're doing is, if you lose 1 pound and then do that 100 times, or you lose 2 pounds and do it 50 times, like if you say lose 100 pounds, people go, oof. If you say lose 2 pounds, that's easy. And do it again, and then again, and then again. And then before
Just
you know
lose
it,
2 pounds 50 times.
yeah, but that sounds hard. But then, that's what it is, right?
Yeah. Or 5 pounds 20 times, whatever. But yeah, that is what it
Yeah,
is. Though.
you know.
So what do you think the difference is between like motivation and discipline?
Oh, wow. What a
I
question.
know I brought some good questions today, man.
What a question. Yes, motivation is good, and I try and keep people motivated and tracking people's progress and showing them each week that they're better than they were last week provides motivation, right? But I could be laying, like, I was freaking laying downstairs last week watching a movie, and I was on my phone scrolling, and I see this person that I know, and they look amazing, and I thought, whoa, they freaking look really good. Turned the TV off, went upstairs and did a workout. So that was a quick burst of motivation, but
Yeah.
so like, I guess that was, I don't actually know what that was. Discipline is good because you have a plan, regardless if you want to do it or not. You do it, you see the results. But motivation, if you rely too heavy on that, you'll not. I feel like, it comes and goes so easy. Like, I got a burst of motivation watching a movie. And if I didn't do anything 30 minutes later, I could have been eating popcorn,
Well, and that just shows motivation can come from different areas too. But yeah, so discipline is what you do when you don't feel like doing it, basically. Is that it?
That's
When you
right.
do it because it's the commitment you've made to yourself. Like
Yes.
we break
I like it.
promises to ourselves that we would never break to other people.
Yes, we do. I'm not one for quotes or nothing, but I do like one that's follow the plan, not the mood. Like it.
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
It's easy to do the opposite. I know I've seen that probably on a cereal box or something.
Yeah, there's another similar one that just says work the damn plan. And I'm like,
That's true.
just do it. It's. Have
That's
you
true.
ever had times in your life where you struggle with motivation or
Oh, for
discipline?
sure. Absolutely. A couple of, this is silly, right? But two things that I do that helps me stay disciplined. Number one, I say on my Instagram videos at the end, follow me for tips to help you get in shape, because I post them every day. It gives me a commitment, a public commitment, that if you follow me, you will see posts every day. Now, it's not, sometimes it's helpful stories, but probably out of 365 days a year, I'll post 340, Another thing I do, all my communications with clients is done on WhatsApp. And whenever you're getting lots of messages, it's easy to take a long time to respond. I like to be responsive. I know, like, people have, these are my messaging hours. My thing is, if you message me, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. To keep me accountable and in check with my discipline. Not so much motivation, because that's, well, call it what you want. I keep my last active visible to everybody. And if I turned that off, I could
wow.
probably slip into like a lazier, longer to respond time, but people can see, oh, he was online. Why is he not replying? So I do try and keep snappy with my replies. Now, there is times whenever I purposefully won't go on WhatsApp for hours so people know that I'm offline. But I keep that on to keep me accountable there.
I love that.
Two
That's
simple
great
things,
accountability.
but it helps me, yeah.
Yeah. So that helps with discipline. Well, and like mentioning Instagram. So how many Instagram followers do you have now? About
82,000.
82,000. That's awesome.
That's
And I
quite a
love
lot.
it. So how many of those did you buy? Like you bought 50,000? No, I'm just kidding.
81,000.
81,999. I'm your only real follower on Instagram.
No, I've got a thought. We have big families out here in this part of the world. So I have 1,000 family members and then 81,000 bots.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I love that. I really believe that what's made you so popular on Instagram is your authenticity. We've talked about that, but it is the fact that you're you're not just giving fitness advice, you're also being kind of funny. You'll be self-deprecating. If you tell a joke that you don't particularly love, you're like, that wasn't a very good joke.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean,
That's true,
you're
yeah.
just doing that. Why is that important to you? Did you recognize that that was going to be your niche of actually being a real person, or what was that? Did it just happen?
It just happened. So I mean, as content creators, you take ideas from other people, and a couple of my friends are not friend, but what's the other word? What am I trying to say? Not like. Anyways,
Like
a couple
colleagues
of people,
or
right? No, not colleagues, but like people I know. Anyways, forget about that. I seen
that's
people
okay.
doing like different styles of videos, and I thought that could work. And then I tried it. And the first time I did that type of sarcastic style, silly jokes video, it just boom, it just hit. All of my videos before that were kind of dud, and this one hit. So I thought, ooh, I could be onto something here. And I kept going with it. And then I introduced my
Yeah.
twin, who some people think is legit my twin, and then that hit. You know, so it's I've tweaked it as I've went with it.
Okay, so your twin. Now, am I right in thinking that your twin represents like some of the cringier
That's
type of
right.
followers that you get,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. For sure. Yeah, because some of the you see my comments, and I mean you don't see my DMs, but comments people are willing to say in public, so you can imagine what the DMs can be like.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I get that, but not to the
yeah.
same extent. But I
Oh my
understand.
gosh, it's ridiculous. So yeah, so I kind of just brought it to life in a person, and it's silly, it's funny, it's fun, and people
It is fun.
enjoy it. You know. Yeah.
So, what do you think you've learned about people through Instagram? Like, have you learned through just about people in general?
I've learned there's many. Oh my gosh, I've learned that there's many different types of people. I've learned that people like many different types of things. I've learned that if worst came to worst, I could probably become a millionaire selling feet pics.
I was going to
I
ask you if that's true. Is that true? Like,
I can, if anyone sees this who knows about the feet situation, I have never benefited or profited from my feet. Make that clear.
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, absolutely. That's for sure real.
If you want some pics, though, there's a link in the comments and the show
Yep.
notes, and you know,
That's right.
for
That's
his
right.
Only Feet page.
Only feet.
Yeah. So I have a good friend of mine who's also he's an influencer, and he and his partner post really funny things. His name's
Oh,
Tall
nice.
Freak on Instagram, but
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah.
really tall. Yeah, and he's 6'4". Well, he has like a size 15 shoe, and he gets people asking him to buy his shoes all the time.
Yeah,
And
it's
he's
weird.
like, if I would just do it, I could be so wealthy, but I just can't in good conscience sell them my shoes.
Crazy. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
People ask for
I
shoes,
get that.
socks, everything.
Everything else.
Worn, not clean. You know, I
Yeah,
said I I can tell you where I got these shoes from. You can go and buy a pair. But no,
yeah,
they want the used ones.
exactly.
I've never done that,
So
anyone, okay?
no, I believe you because I know you well.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'm sure there's a price though. No, I'm just kidding. um,
I haven't got offered it yet.
exactly. So, what has been one of the funniest or most unexpected moments from just being on social media content journey in
Oh,
general? Is there anything that stands out that is, PG-13 or better?
oh, probe me more, probe me more.
Yeah. So, I mean, anything, any funny experience maybe that you've had
Okay,
with, yeah,
so,
a request or a
all right.
video.
Well, do you know what's funny? Whenever it turns into real life, as in, let me expand on that. So, Northern Ireland's a small place. If if you do anything out of the normal over here, social media or whatever, people quickly learn that, and so it's normal if you're out and about and somebody knows you who you don't know because they see you. But whenever that happens in like freaking New York City or or New
Right?
Jersey or in London, it's, whatever, people come up to you like, you're freaking, are you Jordan? I said, these random ass people who like know you because they see what you post. And I post, you share so much of your life, people feel like they know you before you've said hello to them. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. I was
It
on a
takes getting
train.
used to.
Yeah, we were on a train with Lee actually last summer in New York. We were in this carriage, and this was a client retreat I was on, and we were in New Jersey, and then we went into New York City, and we were sat on this train, cottage or whatever you call it, and there was 5 or 6 of us sitting, and then I looked over like this, and the guy who was just sitting directly was like looking at me, and I thought, oh no, and he said, "Are you Jordan?" And I was like, "Yes." And he pulled out his phone, and he was following me, and he's talking about my videos. So that's weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. I think that takes some getting used to, like I'm like you, it's happened a couple of times locally at the gym or something, but when I was in Los Angeles at the Hollywood YMCA, the girl working the thing recognized me and she was like, "Hey, you're the guy that posts from his lake," which is what people say because a
Weird.
lot of my videos were from my lake. And I'm in Los Angeles and I'm just
Yeah.
like, "What?" Yeah.
So weird.
She's like, "Oh yeah, I love your stuff," and has to show me. Yeah, it's a different experience when you start getting recognized, but it also, in a
Yeah.
way, it shows that you're doing the right thing, because at
Yeah.
least he's not recognizing you, be like, "Oh, you're Jordan, you're that guy I can't
Yeah,
stand,"
that asshole.
Yeah,
That's happened. That's
exactly.
happened like one. That has happened as well one time though. But that was okay. That was a story for a private conversation between us.
Okay, I'll be
That
sure
was
to hear
fine.
that.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
post that synopsis in the show notes too. Then.
Yes, you can put that in the comments.
But yeah, I mean, at least people are saying, "Hey, you're Jordan," and
Yeah.
hopefully we enjoy watching you because you make me laugh or you give me good fitness advice or whatever.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I tend to steer clear from the hate. Like I very
Yeah.
rarely would get hated on, which is weird. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, don't start hating on me now, everyone, please. But yeah, it's nice, but it's weird.
So is there any, not hot take, I don't want you to start getting heat, but is there anything that you would share that is a genuine value that you hold that maybe you haven't necessarily put out there on social media yet? Is there something that you believe is a really important value that all people should hold to?
An important value. Nothing immediately springing to mind, you know.
So moving on to something more practical for people who may see this, maybe they're not familiar with your content. What are 2 to 3 simple habits that someone can start today that would radically improve their health?
Okay. 2 to 3 habits. Let me pick the best ones.
Yeah.
Number one, this is not so much, I don't know if you would call this a habit. You can correct me if this is wrong, but I would say have a clear why behind your goals, right? A lot of people want to get in shape, but I say why, and they say because it's not strong enough, because there is like a fitness journey. No, it's not the hardest thing in the world. You're not going to war, but it has challenges. It has, like we've talked about, motivation dips. If you don't have a strong reason why you're actually trying to do it, boom, forget about it. So I think having an actual reason for why you want to get in shape, is it I want to live a longer life? Is it I want to be pain-free? Is it I want to see my kids grow up and I want to be able to play with them? Or is it I've never looked how I want to and we only have one shot, Something. Not just I want to I just want to, it needs to have some purpose behind it. And then support that big reason with actual ways to get there. That's a big thing. But also just, if you're starting from scratch, it needs to be, I tell people that you should try and, even if your habits are disastrous, you should try and keep them similar, but more gearing towards your goal. So you don't have to, it doesn't have to be drastic changes. You don't have to go from a couch potato to 6 gym sessions a week. If you're a total couch potato, keep that time in the evenings, allow yourself to do that. Introduce a little step goal, introduce some working out, and then as you get more into it, then you can start to tater things up a bit, A lot of people just go from here to here, boom, last 2-3 weeks, and then they cut it. So I would keep your habits similar, just make them more towards your goal, and have a strong why you want to get there.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I don't know if that's habit, I don't know if that answered your question, but that's advice I would give.
Well, I think it did. The habit could be constantly touching base with your why,
Yeah, Yeah.
And I think that's very important in everything in your life. I mean, why are we doing anything? What is that goal? What is the reason? If is it for our family? Is it for longevity? Is it to leave a mark or a greatness on the world?
Yeah.
What is that why? And fitness is certainly a huge part of that. And
Yep.
fitness also plays a lot into mindset. I've told you about this before, but I do a visualization meditation while I'm on the elliptical machine. There's something about that dopamine rush while I'm also, visualizing my goal achieve life, whether that's
Yeah.
speaking or hosting the podcast or coaching people, whatever that is, and I'm visualizing it, it just makes it even more real when I've got that dopamine going with it as well.
I like it.
So how has transforming people's lives changed your own life?
It's funny because everyone's so different, you know, and everyone's transformations totally. Some people want to look good, and they look good, and that's it. Other people is they're grieving loss. They've lost a partner or they've lost a loved one, whatever, and they want to channel their energy into themselves, and that's awesome. So it's actually just seeing people change is awesome for me. I wouldn't again, it's not quantifiable that by this has happened to me, but just watching that happen is really rewarding. In a more, this has changed my life because of this, is pretty much wherever I go in the world, there's people who I know, or who I can hang out with or stay with even. So in a real world sense, that's been pretty cool, and I get to learn a lot of different ways of life and cultures, and so just watching people change and the transition and the journey is rewarding.
That's
and
awesome.
Then getting to live life like they do at times is yeah.
What legacy are you hoping to leave?
Oh, in general, on the fitness world, for my family, what way?
In general, just the impact or legacy, the greatness that you want to leave this world.
I would like to help as many people as I can without feeding any bullshit to anybody. I'd like to be known as someone who genuinely cares and helps, and be a dog person.
You are a dog person. That's awesome.
I want to be known as the dog person.
So I feel like we should put a picture of your dog up right now. So send me a picture of your dog. We'll put it up right there. Remind us of your dog's name.
Millie.
Millie, that's right. Allie is your girlfriend. Millie is the dog.
Because I grew up with two dogs. One was called Molly and one was called Tilly.
Oh, so you got Millie. Brilliant.
There's the
last question for you, Jordan. What is one truth about purpose that you think most people are missing?
Wow, John, you're killing me here. Right, give me a sec to prep for this one. One truth about purpose. Okay. Right. Repeat the question.
What is one truth about purpose that you think most people are missing?
Well, I feel like I can't answer this for most people, but I can answer it for a previous version of me. And the thing that was getting in the way of me and my purpose, like we're talking about, was not staying true to myself. My purpose being a fitness coach in this conversation, helping people, wow, look how much money I can make doing this if I charge people this amount. That then became my purpose. How much money can I make this month? And then my purpose then became making as much money as possible, rather than my purpose is to help people. If I do this properly, I will benefit from that in that way anyway. So I guess for me, that was external pressure from the people that were helping me though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It sounds like you had some people in your ear that were pushing you toward a typical high ticket sales funnel, and
you know what, that's exactly what
resonate.
Their job was, and that's exactly what I signed up for. So no hate on them for that, but exactly, for me it didn't resonate.
A lot of times we don't know something doesn't resonate until we try to
Dude,
apply it,
that's right.
you know?
That's right.
So kudos to you for realizing that's not who you are and taking a different path.
I appreciate it.
I think that's awesome. What stands out for me in this conversation is the authenticity to take the path less traveled. It is how you live health as an identity, the importance of discipline over motivation, and how you truly do live purpose through your service. You know, it's not about how much money can you make. It's not about trying to just charge a high ticket. It's about how many lives can you change. And
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic, man. So Jordan, if people want to find you on social media, what is your handle, sir?
At George Wills, JORDSWILS, 1L.
Awesome. And
There you
that's
go.
on Instagram. And are you verified? Do you have the blue check mark?
You bet I do. Go check it out.
Awesome. Just make sure they don't follow the wrong person.
Yes, still follow the wrong one.
Exactly. Awesome.
Sweet.
Well, Jordan, I sure appreciate you being here today, and
Pleasure.
never stop living your own revolution of purpose, Jordan.
I will not. Appreciate being here.
Hey, and from a personal note, thank you for the way that you have helped me with my own fitness journey and the way that you're helping all of your clients.
We will keep going. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Jordan.